When you say a society should be level, it should be level as per the sense that people are able to achieve the same things. This is a negative leveler. A negative leveler, if I may insist.
But are you not seeing it in a way whereby, the federal government is trying to ameliorate things? That's why they said that the 200 naira still should be a legal tender pen at the time, maybe in the next 60 days as at then. And now the INEC chairman is looking at the urgency of solving the coming election.
These are not the points for me. The point for me is that this policy, no matter how well envisioned, no matter how beautiful, no matter how lofty, was ill-timed, was not properly timed, except this thing was deliberately designed to impoverish Nigerians. Except it was deliberately designed to inflict hardship on Nigerians. Except this policy was deliberately designed to make Nigerians poorer. Don't forget, before now, Nigerians under President Muhammadu Buhari has been described as the poverty headquarters of the world. Right? And now this policy of government further accentuates and worsens that poverty. And so what are you ameliorating? What palliative are you giving out? The president spoke to us and I didn't hear anything. The president spoke to us and many of Nigerians did not hear anything. Because when Mr. President wants to speak to us, people are hopeful that from that message will come succor. How many people have asked succor from that president's speech?
But he said the 200 naira is still legal.
And where is the 200 naira in your pocket? Where is it in the market? Where do we have it? Somebody called them the smelly old notes. If you actually had the smelly old notes, people will even be happy. People cannot even access it. You queue in the bank for hours and the best you can get is 2,000 or 3,000 naira. And I'm being told that people have to add 1,000 naira to get whatever they need. People are now buying 1,000 naira with 200 naira. If you want 10,000 naira, you pay them 12,000 naira. The other day, I went to do laundry, ironing, and the guy told me, Oga, it's 1,000. I said, I'll be in next time. He said, it's not possible. I had to pay a paga guy to debit my account, so we credit him. Because the guy said he brought his secretary or somebody, and I had to pay 200 extra, even though I was not collecting cash. Do you understand what I'm saying now? So, on the long run, when you say ameliorate, what have we ameliorated here? Nothing has been ameliorated. Because this president spoke for 30 minutes, and there was no succor in it. People felt that, what people felt was that even Mr. President was not going to was going to speak to the country, was going to align himself with a ruling of the Supreme Court. Mr. President is not the government. President Muhammadu Buhari, the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. And Mr. President cannot appropriate into his pocket the powers of the judiciary. Once the judiciary has taken a decision, even if you think it's a wrong decision, you still have to approach that same judiciary to re-adjudicate or evaluate if you have new evidence to present before that court. So for me, Mr. President and the CBN, with this design, have worsened poverty in Nigeria, have accentuated poverty, and I hope and I pray that I'm wrong, that this policy was not deliberately designed to inflict hardship on the suffering masses of Nigeria.
Let's look at
COVID-19.
Yes, according to Ganjiji now, he said we now have COVID-23, and this was the Kano governor, also knocked his counterpart in Edo and Bayelsa State, Godwin Obaseki and Deodiri, respectively, for going to court to back the CBN. Now, what we want to look in now, we have some governors that are backing the CBN policies, and we have other governors that are maybe going against the verdict of President Muhammadu Buhari on this policy.
These governors are politicians. This is an election period. Today is Wednesday, 22nd, few days to the presidential National Assembly election. And when you look at the history of Nigerian politics and what it takes, you know that cash will be needed, either rightly or wrongly, legally or illegally, legitimately or illegitimately. Do these governors have access to this cash with this policy? I say to you, no. Now, you and I know that for any election to be prosecuted, let's say Oyo Central as an example, probably there are 11 local governments in there. In those 11 local governments, there are average of 10 wards per local government, and in those wards, there are average of 7 or 8 polling units per local government. Each candidate is expected to have people at those polling units to monitor, to be in charge. These people will need logistics, we need funds. So even if we are not doing vote buying, if you are not doing the bouquet, you still need money for this logistics. Do you get? And so many of the politicians that I know, many of them will not even have access to do the basic things for even their supervisors, for their coalition agents, for their ward agents, and so on and so forth. And so when you look at it, now, why can't the INEC and the CBN that said we should be transferring, and most of the time from 6 a.m. to probably 10 or 11 p.m., these mobile money apps are not working. Do you understand? Why is this INEC not transferring to the people? Because the truth of the matter is that there's a cultural inclination for us to have confidence in cash in our pockets. Not that it's a bad thing or it's not a good thing to do electronic transfer, but the banking system, have they been wired or structured? Do they have the backbone, the ICT backbone, to withstand the pressure, the quantum of transfers that will take place? What is the percentage of unbanked Nigerians that we want to bring into the banking pool? Now, if you are saying we are going strictly cashless, what are the people? Yes, we have seen cases of people, ladies selling oranges, banana, biscuits, bread, having POS. But the truth of the matter is that this policy, in my estimation, if it was designed to inflict pain on us, has achieved its aim.
Hello, good morning. All right, I think we have to go for a short commercial break. We'll be right back.
Assalamu alaikum gbogbo mùsùlùmí. Ilẹ̀kùn hajj 2023 ti ṣí sílẹ̀ fún gbogbo ẹni tó fẹ́ bá wa ṣe ìrìn àjò lọ́dún yìí. Ilé-iṣẹ́ alálùbáríkà you fit fly ní pé gbogbo wa o. Hajj ìtọ́dún ní yàtọ̀ kọjá àtàtẹ̀yìnwá. Ṣé ti wá mọ̀ pé àtètè sùn ní àtètè jí? Ọ̀pọ̀ ti ń fọ́ kọ́lẹ̀ nílé-iṣẹ́ you fit fly. Ẹ̀yin náà tètè bá bọ̀ wá fọ́ kọ́lẹ̀ fún hajj 2023 tí ó wáyé láàrin ọjọ́ kẹẹ̀ẹ́dógún oṣù kẹfà sọ́jọ́ keje oṣù keje ọdún 2023 pẹ̀lú ọ̀pọ̀ ètò tó mú ìgbádùn rẹpẹtẹ dání. Ilégbé ìrọ̀rùn tí ò jìnnà sí haram àti mọ́sálásí ànábì Mádínà, síyára ọ̀fẹ́ lójoojúmọ́, oúnjẹ àjẹdọ́wẹ́kẹ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀mẹ́ta lójúmọ́ tó fi mọ́ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ètò tí ó mú ká ẹ ṣe àṣepé hajj tọdún ní. A jẹ́ pé a máa ń fa àkókò ṣòfò mọ́. Ẹ wá darapọ̀ mọ́ àwọn hujjaj lọ́fíìsì you fit fly tó wà ní Success House 7 Up Road Olúyọ̀lé Main Estate Ring Road Ìbàdàn tàbí ká ẹ pè 0703-711-7801. Hajj 2023 pẹ̀lú you fit fly. Inshallah àjọ lọ ni.
For your non-stop entertainment, quality programming, unbiased news reportage.
Hello, welcome to the news on Vintage 93.7 FM, and these are the top stories.
Stay connected with Vintage 93.7.
All right, welcome back. The program is still Black Coffee on Vintage 93.7 FM. 0704 7937 0909997937. You can be part of the show via calling those number. All right, a CBN cash policy, that's what we're still looking at, and I can see that there is CBN saying that, okay, let's look at this. Do you think that the election voting that will be coming up this Saturday will be affected because of this cash policy in terms of voting apathy?
No, you see, at the point we realize that the media is the fourth realm of the estate. The media has a responsibility to set the narratives right. The media has a responsibility to paint the picture patriotically. The media has a responsibility to say it as it is. The media has a responsibility to mirror the society and portray to society what is actually happening. However, there's also something bigger, and that is the Nigerian project. And the Nigerian project is that we should be positive. Yes, there may be hiccups, there may be issues, but people have been finding their way around it. People have been going to their workplaces. People have been struggling. I know a family recently who had to go to, I don't want to mention the name of the outlet now. They even got egusi there. They got locust bean. They got palm oil. People have been finding their way. And so if people also are aware that election is important and they take it as a do or do, I don't want to use the word do or die. I don't want to use the word make or mar. They say as a do or do for the nation, then it is important that we will find our way to this election. Before now, from the statistics I've had, the highest we have had in the election was from 1999, 2003. From 2007, the number of people coming out for polls reduced up to 2019, which was the worst for us. But we have seen a spike in interest, in enthusiasm. We have seen Nigerians ready to use the ballot to determine who leads them. We have seen Nigerians ready to use the ballot to determine who represents them in the House of Representatives and the Senate. And we have seen Nigerians willing and enthusiastic to deploy their franchise to determine who leads them. However, this should not be a limiting factor. It may be a disadvantage, it may deter in a way, but then the soul that is focused, the soul that is determined, will see no limitations. And I think, and I'm of the opinion, that Nigerians should not allow this naira scarcity to deter them from exercising their franchise.
So looking at what a group of journalists said here, as Nigerians unable to meet the aspiration of casting their vote, moving from one state to the other, do you see that playing out?
It's a likelihood. It's a likelihood. But I think Nigerians also have this never fails attitude. Nigerians do not like have this attitude and mentality of I can get it done. And so for me, I think most importantly, we are going to have a situation where Nigerians will tower above all the limitations, will tower above all the challenges, and ensure that the two parties in their large numbers to vote who they please. Because don't forget, our decisions on Saturday, we are going to bear the consequences for another 4 years. And so maybe Nigerians have to bear a little hardship, if we can call it that, and come out and vote, because it's better you vote a president that you can know is truly representing Nigerians and have a good list of life for the next 4 years than stay away from it, and then somebody who emerges will be a person that will not have been elected to what we call a real majority.
Okay, looking at this election, Nigerian Army releases hotlines to report security breaches. Now, it appears that the security are trying as much as possible to have a seamless and free fair election in this forthcoming election. What have you seen? We've seen shown of forces in some states and the likes.
You see, people that have to do with election management bodies, INEC, the political parties, the security agencies, formally, informally, on air, at times off air. And I know that this election that we are planning for, many of these organizations and agencies have started planning for it since 2019. Immediately after the 2019 election, they had a review at different levels, at different platforms, and they have a consensus on how to go about it. They know their weak points, which they have been working on. And so for me, despite the challenges we have now, these agencies, the INEC, the critical stakeholders, the security agencies, the civil society organizations are going to up their game more, because this is something they have been preparing for the past 4 years. And I'm of the opinion that they are capable and they are competent enough to discharge those duties professionally in the interest of the Nigerian nation.
Okay, well, let's cross finger crossed to see how that plays out in this forthcoming election. 09099997937 or 0704-700937. You can be a part of the Black Coffee this morning and lend your voice on some of the headlines this morning. EU mission not in Nigeria to validate election. The chief observer of the European Union election observation, members of the mission on a visit to one of the newspapers here, and say that the European Union election observation has come to Nigeria for 7th election in a row. We follow a very clear methodology of non-interference in political process, but we will produce reports with recommendations with elections are completed. We are here on the invitation of the Independent National Electoral Commissions. We have long-term observers across the country. Now we now have foreign observers coming to observe this election, and we have the highest number of observers within Nigeria at this election. Now when we have all this, it appears that hands are on deck for this coming election. What do you think we should be expecting this election?
Yes, normally when things are like this, we should expect the election to go as scheduled. We expect the election as scheduled, but then my knowledge of history tells me that there's a way history repeats itself. I remember in 2015, 2 weeks to the election was shifted for 6 weeks. If you remember, in 2019, we were already on the field.
On the field in the morning.
We were already on the field in the morning. I was already in far away Okeogun, and then we were ready to go out. Then we got feelers in the night. By 3 a.m. we were sure that INEC had postponed, and INEC waited until Friday night or Saturday morning to announce that postponement. And I'm sure in 2019, those election observers were also around. So it doesn't matter to the people in INEC or to people in government whether it is INEC pulling the strings or whether it's people in government pulling the strings. It doesn't matter to them. But I think...
Hello, good morning.
Okay.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where are you calling us from?
Okay, I'm Balkis Onodiran from Ibadan.
Okay.
First off, I want to urge our people in Oyo State that they should try to be law-abiding. Because when I went out earlier this morning, I saw a free and fair election. So they should please be law-abiding. Then I think in some newspapers earlier this week, they say over 215 polling booths may not have access to vote due to insecurity. Shouldn't be a big issue to Highness and the presidency, since we say we want to ensure a credible election. So I think they should look into it. If at all it's not possible for this Saturday election, but at least for the governorship election, they should do something about it. Good morning.
Thank you, Balikis. Thank you for making your point. You were saying something concerning this.
So for me, if INEC plans to extend the election or postpone, it's within their constitutional right. But then that means that the plans have to start all over again. But then I think everybody really wants this election to hold, because we realize that even the peace and tranquility of the nation, challenges we have been having as a nation, I feel, and I allow with people who feel they have to do with the elections. Some people have concluded, rightly or wrongly, that the redesign has to do with the elections, and issue of fresh scarcity and a whole lot of issues have to do with the election. And so for me, the earlier we have this election, so that we can move on as a people, so that people can resume their normal lives. If it's that the president doesn't want politicians to be in control of huge sums of money, then probably after election, everything will resolve itself. So for me, the presence of the election observers from where they're coming from will not.
Please hold your thought. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where are you calling us from?
Thank you. I'm also calling from Lagos.
Okay, please make your point.
Yes, sir. Sir, concerning the elections that are at hand, I want to just urge the Nigerians, coupled with the fact that Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State had earlier charged the security agencies to be more effective, especially during this election. So I just want to urge Nigerians to please cooperate with security bodies and everyone should be law abiding concerning this election. That everyone should come out en masse and vote for presidential candidates and vote March 11. Let's vote Governor Seyi Makinde for sustainable development. Thank you.
All right.
So for me, I think what matters is Nigerians. What matters is that we should have this election. What matters is that whoever emerges out of the front runners should be acceptable, should have won the election by majority of votes, and that as a nation we move forward and conquer our challenges.
There is these allegations or predictions by the U.S. Before sending in their was observed. See that?
Yeah, you see, the other time there was this security report by the United States government, and there was so much hullabaloo about it. There was so much uproar, and it was just an advisory. People can advise who they want to advise. People can, you see, and the thing for me is that in a message like this, there are always takeaways. There's something significant that should be taken away. There's not something you should throw away with the throw the baby with the bath water. And so for me, whatever the U.S. government has said, they are saying because they have knowledge to that. If our security agencies also have contrary information or contrary position, they should push out the narrative to Nigerians. But I say to you, this is not what the foreign nations say about us that matters. It is not what the foreign government of foreign whatever say to us that matters. It is what we as a people decide will happen. We are in control of our destiny, and we are not under. We're a sovereign nation. We have a leadership. We have the opposition to the leadership. We have the people. We have the CSOs. We have government. And so it is not what they say that matters for me. It is what we do and how we treat ourselves as Nigerians that is more important for me.
All right. Okay. Before we wrap up on the show, what is going to be your final shot?
Yes. For me, people should troop out. They should overcome and tower above all the challenges. They should realize that we all have our roles to play. They should play these roles, and they should realize that whatever decisions they are taking today, they will bear the consequences. Our children, grandchildren will bear the consequences, and that posterity will have a place for all of us. And that when the history of this country is being written, Akim Karim should say, I always took side with the people of Nigeria, and everybody should do whatever in their conscience is the right thing for us, and be law-abiding, don't break the rules, and don't circulate fake news in a time like this.
All right, thank you very much. I will be wrapping up, joining that, saying that don't spread fake news, because that is another a great challenge here. I've been seeing a lot of news popping up on social media, and we should make sure that we verify the sources of our news before we start spreading the news around. All right, this is where we'll be wrapping up on the show this morning. This is where we'll be wrapping up on the show this morning. Black Coffee on Vintage 93.7 FM. Now the Sportman is in the studio. So what do we have this morning?
Yeah, we have a lot happening in the world of sports. The UEFA Champions League games were played yesterday. Very interesting match we had at Anfield between Liverpool and Real Madrid. It ended 5-2 in favor of Real Madrid. They came back from 2 goals down to win that one. So a lot to talk about. We have news from the Nigerian football scene and some other sports, tennis and boxing.
All right.